All right, let's talk zone control. My name's Greg, and you're watching How to Play Paintball. Get started, thanks to ProEdge for sponsoring this video. If you need any deals on any paintball equipment, used and new, go ahead and check out the link in the description down below. There's also some other goodies down there. If you click down there, there's a free ebook for brand new paintball players, but also there's gonna be some stuff down the line. So if you wanted to go ahead and join into that email list, you can add your email down there. So out here at Legacy Sports Park in Lakeland, Florida, this is the home field for Tampa Bay Damage, as well as the ML Kings or Miami Kings. And I wanted to talk a little bit about zone control. Now, zones are something that people seem to forget about. In communication, it's really important, yes, to know where the players are at, but understanding who is shooting what zone is really important as well. So the first thing that you want to do is figure out what are the zones that are even important. So if I'm looking at this field, so this is the European Championship in France layout, something that I really would want to worry about is I know that I can't see anyone past there, but I do have a gap going into the snake. So that would be a zone that I would want to see. There would also be, I can't see it from here, but at least I can shoot into that gap. When you're looking at these zones, the whole point of this is having it where players are able to see how far did someone go. So if I was in this Dorito, I would probably consider that another zone. Probably not something here, just because it's too small of a gap to really be able to control anything. There's also some chances for bounce shots coming in. But if I'm shooting this, I know that if there's a Dorito 1 and he goes to Dorito 2, that's okay. I know that they're not wider than that. Same thing goes for if I was over here on the snake side. If I was in this tower, I know that I can see into that snake gap, as well as this is basically a double snake, but I can see both of these gaps. I know if someone went in or not. If I'm shooting here, and let's say there's someone in that Aztec, and I called this, you know, red or whatever color you want or code you want, and I'm saying, hey, I'm on this gap, and someone puts me in, and I say that I lost it, now we know there might be someone in the snake. Same thing goes for the Dorito side. Maybe this guy is shooting into that gap, and you have, you know, different zones that you're trying to figure out, okay, what are the ones that are really important? Let's say this is an important one. Well, I know that they're not past that Dorito 2 into this Dorito 3 or that little wing or into the 50 wing. So this player can actually play either this side or this side. So you're able to control what is it that's happening. Something that's important with zone control is, yes, you obviously want to eliminate the player, but it's also making sure that when someone is looking at a certain gap or zone, you're not getting surprised. Let's say my job was to go ahead and shoot this snake gap. If I'm shooting the snake gap and I lose it, I know, okay, they might have gone into the snake. So maybe they shoot at me and they put me in enough that I can't really roll off. Maybe I can shoot into that next gap. I can still see, did they go past the snake 1 or go into this other snake? I can see what happened. So I'm not getting surprised by someone going into the snake. The issue with not having your zone covered is that if someone goes into the snake and you don't know until two players, you know, on the other side of the field get eliminated, and then you figure it out, well, now you're just in a bad spot. You're just making it where you've lost two players in a situation that, you know, if you called it red alert or caution the snake or whatever it was, I can just call that. Everyone tucks in a little bit. We can double check. Okay, he's not in the snake. He's still in that Aztec. Cool. I got that gap again. I got the red gap or whatever it is that you call it. Whatever zone it is, you want to make sure that if that's your job, you need to make sure that you are holding that job. If you need to come off of it, like let's say I'm in this Dorito and I'm shooting into this gap. Let's say that I want to come off this gap. I need to make sure that, okay, I know that tower can shoot into that gap. Maybe there's someone else back here that can shoot it. Hey, so-and-so, pick up this gap, I'm gonna go. Once they have it and they say, I have it, that's when you can make the move. The issue that happens is that if you're shooting this gap and you come off of it and make the move and no one is picking up on it, and let's say someone matches you and maybe even dives across, now they're wider than you and you did all this work for nothing. If you can at least trap them and keep them in a bunker, you're putting yourself in better spots as you continue to move down the field. Same thing can go for the middle. The middle is going to be great for this. You might not talk as much, but if you are in the middle, like let's say I was over here, I can shoot into a couple gaps. So I can make sure that even if they're in the Dorito 1 or whatever, that when they come across, I'm trusting that the guys behind me are doing their job, but I can shoot into this gap and make sure that no one's able to make it in. This is a spot too that I can also bait players to go. I don't need to constantly keep paint in the air because there's a big enough of a gap that I can catch someone. Same thing could go even if I was shooting into here. Make it where, you know, if this player wanted to come and get me, I'm probably going to trade with them, and that's okay. But I know that I have control of this. The other side of this, and this is starting to get into next level stuff, so I understand this seems like a lot, but you need to remember what player is doing what job. If I am this player in this brick, and let's say I trade out with someone, or somehow they get a shot on me, someone else needs to figure out, we've lost that zone, who's picking it up. And then that way, you know where everyone is, at least behind a certain bunker. No one's going to surprise you. And this way, you're not going to get caught off guard and kind of get embarrassed. So thanks again to ProEdge for sponsoring this video. I hope this is something that helps you guys out. Please make sure that you are just trying things out. If it doesn't work at practice, figure out what is it that happened, how can we improve upon it, and adjust. It's really not a bad thing if you lose at practice. It's bad if you make the same mistake twice. Remember that. So if you try something and it doesn't work, don't see it as, oh man, I'm terrible. It's, okay, that didn't work on this layout. Do I need to be quicker? Do I need to be slower? Do I need to try to have someone filter out wider and do something different? It's all okay. So the zone control, once you figure out what zones are the important ones and what bunkers are really important to stop people getting into, once you start incorporating this, you're not going to get caught off guard, but it's going to take practice. So thank you again, guys, for watching. And as always, remember, watch, learn, win. Thanks.